I'm Jaakko Kemppainen. I'm a lead game designer at Mindfield Games, and there are currently 11 people working there.
So what is Pollen? Can you explain what it is for us?
Pollen is a first-person exploration adventure game where there's something happening on Moon Titan, and the player is sent there, and when he arrives to the place he finds out that things are not as they should be, and the game is actually the player tries to find out what has happened, and he has to explore the environment, trying to find clues from items and things over there.
And what was the inspiration for a game like this?
Gameplay-wise, we really want to rise the Gun Home game as one of the main influences for the game. But also all the people in the company are quite old adventure gamers, so we wanted to add some puzzle elements there also. But thematically, we really love science fiction films. For example, 2001, Solaris, The Moon are like huge inspirations for us.
What previous games have Mindfield done, or is this going to be the first one for the studio?
Yeah, this is the first one for Mindfield Games, but almost all the people in the studio have been working in the game industry for 10 or more years, so we have a lot of backlog there.
With the Pollen game, I've noticed you've got VR running here. Is it just going to be VR, or will you have a non-VR version as well?
It's fully playable with just normal PC and later on also on PS4. But we are focusing on virtual reality devices like Oculus Rift, HTC Vive, OS VR, and later on also PlayStation VR.
What have been the biggest challenges for development so far for Pollen?
I would say that the challenges you usually have when you are going in the first wave of the virtual reality. Frame rate is not that good, and you actually have to render something like 75-90 frames per second, which is quite a lot, and you have to have a good resolution in your device just to avoid the motion sickness, because when you are inside the virtual reality it's quite easy to get a bit dizzy, and we have put a lot of effort on that, trying to minimize the motion sickness in our game, and I think we have done quite well there.
Also, the scale seems very good as well for Pollen. How about all of the elements within the game? How did you come up with like the gameplay mechanics?
We just think like when you are in the virtual reality, I think our philosophy is that the environment has to be as interactive as possible. So the main thing we want to do is like all the little items in the game, they have to be you have to be able to pick them up, look at them, throw them around, and so on. Because if you have a static environment, it feels like you are in some kind of a movie set, and it doesn't feel really good. So that's the main thing, and we are using the environmental storytelling, which means we are basically telling the story through the items. So player picks up some items, looks at them, trying to figure out what has happened, finding some clues from letters and photos and so on.
And how long would it take a player to go from start to finish in Pollen?
I think you can play through and get quite nice understanding of the events in maybe 6 to 8 hours. But you can easily spend maybe 10-20 hours just by playing around, doing some crazy stuff there and everything. But we don't want to hold the player's hand, so we just get you inside the base, and then you are kind of on your own. And it's up to the player how much he wants to explore and try to understand what has happened there.
And which platforms are you going to release this for?
First we are going to release this for PC and for Oculus, OS VR, HTC Vive in early next year, and later on PS4, and I don't know whatever happens after that, but we will go like the virtual reality first. So if I don't know if Microsoft gets some kind of virtual reality thing on Xbox, then we will see what we can do with that.
I think they're probably going to focus on the HoloLens. Do you reckon you'll be able to do an augmented reality version of Pollen?
Maybe not on Pollen, but we have been looking at augmented reality also. So I don't know, or I won't tell you what is the next project of our team. So let's see what happens in the future.
Okay then. And for this game, will there be any expansions in the future, or will it just be the one main game and then maybe something else later on?
We don't have plans for the expansions yet because it's like a complete story and well, that's it. But maybe something in the same universe can happen in the future releases also.
Is it on early access, green light? How can people find out more about Pollen?
Yeah, we are going to green light quite soon. We are planning to release the game early next year, like first quarter. We have www.pollengame.com where you can find all the screenshots and videos and more information and so on.
All right then, well thank you very much for a chat, and we look forward to playing Pollen when it's available.
Yeah, thank you.